as leaders, we need to continue to look at our leadership style and work on improving ourselves. Very often leaders get tunnel vision. They have a goal in mind, a project, they charge after it, and they disregard everything that's around them or how others are impacted. Sarah Matthew was hired as the Chief Financial Officer of Dun & Bradstreet in 2001. And her first project was to review the company financials for the last decade to make sure everything was done by the book. There were no mistakes. Well, in their research, they found some anomalies. Some incorrect accounting methods were used, and they were going to have to restate their financials for the entire decade. Now understand, this was on the heels of the Enron debacle, so there were a lot of eyes on the project to see if there was any fraud going on at Dun & Bradstreet. Sarah told her boss that they could complete the project in 6 weeks by the time the next earnings came out. So she and her team sat down, heads down, 24 hours a day, they got the project done. $150 million in earnings and revenue they had to restate. But there was no fraud. The company's stock held, and the company was back on track, and everything was straightened out. She received accolades, her team was praised, everything was great. A couple weeks later, she's called into the CEO's office, and he says to her, "Sarah, you're not leading well." Now, this was a result of the Dun & Bradstreet employee satisfaction surveys. And the numbers had come out, and Sarah's were the lowest in the company. Now Sarah, fresh off this financial success, is feeling pretty good about herself, and she responded to the CEO and said, well, you have to decide, do you want great results or do you want happy people? And the CEO calmly said to her, Sarah, great leaders do both. Well, this hit Sarah like a ton of bricks. She realized she had to do something about it, so she went back to her team and she started to meet with them and interview them one-on-one to find out where she was falling short in her leadership style. And while she was hard driving and detail-oriented and all the things needed to get a project done, she found out she fell short when it came to listening. She didn't listen well, she didn't accept feedback well, she didn't apply feedback from her team well. But to her credit, she used that to help improve her as a leader. And in 2 years, her employee satisfaction numbers were #1 in the company. So while as leaders, it's important to get work done, it's important to motivate and improve your team, it's also important to motivate and improve yourself. And that's going to make you an even better leader in the long run.